Fasten your seatbelt. It's the 30-second take podcast, where two people face off in a digital duel. The podcast begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hello! This is episode 6 of the podcast that lets you decide which of our guest hosts returns each and every week based on your voting at hashtag 30second take. Votes are now coming in via Voxer and direct message, and that's cool too. Hi, I'm Brad Gustafson. Last week, we just had an epic digital duel. Vicky Day, Oliver Shinkton, less than 4% separated the two when all was said and done. So, hat tip, Oliver Shinkton narrowly edging. He's returning. I just want to highlight one really neat thing that we're experiencing here as a result of some of these guiding questions. The conversation via blogs and on Twitter has really taken things to a whole new level and bringing out a lot of reflective practitioners. So I thank you for your sharing, for your questions. Steinology wrote a great post last week about the seeming dichotomy between 21st century skills and then the social emotional needs of our students. Consensus was we can't have a dichotomy. Our kids need both. Coach Adair had a great blog post responding to the guiding question and some comments made on the YouTube channel. I just want to thank both people and actually others who chimed in as well, because when we talk about these things, these issues that are critical in education, kids win. We've got to question everything we do for them and their future. All right, this week's guest host, he is John Fritzke. I deeply respect John. He's a collaborative individual. He's vice principal in New Jersey. We've had the chance to collaborate on several projects over the last year or more. You'll get to hear a little bit more from John in a second. And a reminder, Oliver Shinkton is back. And Oliver runs this thing. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's compassion-based learning, cultivating leadership in our high school age kids all across the country. It doesn't matter what school. So I encourage you to check out this blog and dial into that for our students. All right, let's dig in. Digital duel. This week's guiding question, it is, what does best practice look like in today's classrooms? This ought to be good.
Welcome to our digital duel. Cast your vote for the most compelling response. The winner returns next week to defend the title.
We're talking best practices in education right now. So I think that there are three main things to consider. Number one is student engagement. We have to make sure that we have students on the hook, that we really have them interested, excited, and involved in the learning that's taking place. Number two is feedback, whether that's feedback from a teacher through formative assessment, whether it's feedback by another peer, or feedback from somebody outside the walls of our classroom, and giving that feedback to a student is powerful. The third thing is reflection. We need to provide time for the students to reflect on how they learned certain material, not just what they learned. Thanks.
What's your favorite restaurant? And when you go there, what's the best thing on the menu? And if it's the best, why do they have a menu? Why don't they just give that to everyone? Ridiculous? I think it's ridiculous when we try to find a best practice for every kid in the world in education. There's kinesthetic, auditory, visual learners, people who aspire to go to an Ivy League school, some who will struggle to graduate from high school, yet they all get the same worksheets, test, same feedback. There's no best practice. There are best practices. But anytime you help an individual feel important and help them succeed, awesome.
Each and every week, our guest hosts bring it. And this week, they brought it big time. Oliver, I think I'll take a steak and a side of best practice. And John, thanks for laying that succinct roadmap, the three elements critical to student learning. Okay, that's great stuff, guys. It's our job. It's our turn now. Hit up the show's hashtag 30second take on Twitter. Let us know what you thought, what resonated, what did we miss for best practice in today's classrooms. We want to hear from you. Thanks for your engagement. If you're not already following John and Oliver on Twitter, highly encourage you to do that. John is at John Fritzke and Oliver is at Shink1010. Thanks again, everyone. Make it a great week.